daddy stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.
A dancing clown upon the wall is calling all to City Hall. Your grave is mine, oh can't you see? It's your own kind to be free. The truth I've known, you are the king. My love, this world to you I bring. You know, you can be free. It's at your kind and come to me. Whisper words, you come to me. This song I sing for all to see. The past is gone and now I know. Inside this cell, nowhere to go. Oh, love.
One thing you learn over time, and honestly I'm not sure if it's because of experience or age, but you eventually learn in life that you should never fully trust everything you read or hear. There's always two sides to the story, sometimes three, sometimes four, sometimes more. Media is a crazy thing. Never truly believe everything. Always do your own research, always. But sometimes, no matter how much research you do, sometimes you're not going to get the answers. Sometimes you're not going to get the facts. Sometimes you're not going to get the truth. Some things are just left unknown or unsolved. But you know what? That's okay. But it should never stop you from seeking out the truth, educating yourself, especially when it comes to something as horrible, as infamous as the Manson murders. Now, when it comes to knowledge on Charles Manson, especially Spahn Ranch on YouTube, Sterner Van Houten is probably one of the most knowledgeable people that I've ever, I haven't met him, but his videos, very knowledgeable. He devotes a lot of his time to taking care of Spahn Ranch. He actually goes there, cleans up, helps maintain the site. Well, I mean, Spahn Ranch isn't there anymore, it's actually burned down. But he goes there, he takes care of it, he gives tours of the place. So I highly recommend, if you want some in-depth knowledge or little factoids about Charles Manson and his family, his followers, and their time at Spahn Ranch, check out his channel. Now, one of the things that I absolutely love about Sterner Van Houten and what he does, he actually takes the time to relay the truth. He just doesn't tell you the stories of Charles Manson and what happened and sensationalizing it. He actually does a lot of research. He talks to the families. He's very, I'd even go as far as saying he's very rooted into the story of Spahn Ranch. Now, this is gonna be virtually impossible to keep my shadow out of it because of the way the sun is right now. But there's Martha Spahn, George's wife, and right next to her, so simple, in loving memory, George C. Spahn, 1889 to 1974. Now keep in mind, when Charles Manson and his followers were at Spahn Ranch, it was what, 1969? The summer of 1969 is whenever they were working there. And Spahn Ranch actually burned down in September of 1971. So he lived a couple years after what happened. Pretty wild. It's this kind of, I'd call it like a deep cut Hollywood history that just intrigues the heckins out of me. You remember what I told you at the beginning of this video about never really trusting everything you hear or read? Well, the same thing goes for this video. Always feel free to fact check anything that we ever put on this channel. We do a lot of research. We try to keep all the facts to a minimum and let the surrounding, the environment speak for itself. Because you can go online and you can do all the research you want, but unless you leave your couch, your living room, your state, your country, the one thing you never really get is the experience of actually being there. Now, when it comes to the media, a lot of people have said what you know about George Spahn and what happened at Spahn Ranch and Charles Manson is wrong. And other people say, hey, it's right, I don't know what they're talking about. There are a few things that you can find online about George Spahn. Some call them rumors, some call them flat out lies. The biggest one, which I always found very interesting, supposedly when the Manson family was staying at Spahn Ranch, which was a movie ranch that George Spahn bought from a silent film actor back in the 40s, I think it was. He bought the movie ranch. A lot of movies were filmed there, a lot of B-rated movies. He rented horses. It was like you can go there and ride horses. Back in the day, the heyday of Spahn Ranch, that's where you wanted to go to ride horses through the Santa Susana Pass. It was beautiful. It still is beautiful today. Charles Manson and his followers, his family, if you will, they were working at Spahn Ranch, helping with the horses, helping take care of George Spahn. And supposedly, it's George Spahn that gave the nicknames to the family members that we all know today, like Squeaky, Tex. Supposedly, in the media, George Spahn was a very old, kind of stuck in his ways, kind of a bit of a perverted kind of person. And supposedly Squeaky got the name because every time that George Spahn would run his hand along her leg or touch her, she would kind of squeak and he thought it was cute, so he named her Squeak. Tex got the nickname because supposedly he had a Texas accent. In Quentin Tarantino's movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, George Spahn was played by Bruce Dern. The part was originally supposed to go to Burt Reynolds, but he died, and then Bruce Dern ultimately got the part. And in that, he's a mean, crude, rude kind of person.
Just who the fuck are you?
I'm Cliff Booth. I'm his stuntman. We used to work together, George. I just want to make sure you're okay, and that all these hippies aren't taking advantage of you.
Squeaky?
Yeah.
She loves me. So suck on that.
Now, according to Stoner Van Houten, the Spahn family has been trying to clear George's name for quite some time. And you know what? Let's be honest here. No matter what they do, it's never going to be cleared. His name, Spahn, is always going to be right up there with Charles Manson and what happened. It's just a fact. It is burned. It's embedded into our brains. With that being said, George Spahn had absolutely nothing to do with the murders. He was just a businessman who had a horse ranch, a movie ranch. He was making movies. The Manson family came, they worked there, they helped out, they helped take care of him. He did love his money. He was a businessman. There's even a video online where when the ranch burned down in 1971, reporters came to talk to him, and he's sitting in a truck, and he actually, in the middle of the interview, asks the reporter if he has any money for this interview, because he knew full well that it was going to kind of blow up, so to speak. So even then, he always had that mindset of, how can I make some money?
I'm Frank Elmquist of KNXT News. How are you, sir? What time last night did this occur?
Oh, I would think, well, I wasn't here to see they made us pull out, but I would imagine around about 6.
What time did you pull out?
I think about 6.
About 6 o'clock last night.
5 maybe, something like that.
Are you going to try to rebuild it at all?
Oh, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, you fellas can pay us a little bit of money for giving you all this here news.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I tell you, is there some way that you can pay us a little bit, you're going to sell this to some magazines and that kind of stuff?
Oh, no, this is KNXT News. It's not going to be sold anymore. Where are you?
It's crazy to think that, everybody knows the name Charles Manson. Everybody knows the Manson followers and what they did to Sharon Tate and her friends and her unborn baby. And everybody knows the Labiancas, and everybody knows how much the Manson murders, the Manson family, helter-skelter, changed the face of the country, the world, But nobody ever really talks about George Spahn and who he was. Everybody knows Spahn Ranch. It goes hand in hand with Charles Manson. But he was a real human being. And he died just like everybody else and was laid to rest like everybody else. I feel very honored to, to be able to live here and go visit these places. Lucky, very lucky, that's the word.
Wherever I come, bad luck is coming my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.